That you introduced after, you're just not using quite as aggressively yet, but you're using it at some point?
So from my experience, I started, I was kind of late to Instagram, so Twitter was definitely my mode of kind of choice. And then I saw then I of course got turned on to Instagram, and I realized how impactful Instagram is, because it's so visceral. We're visual creatures. We love to see pretty, shiny things in front of us, and you can tell amazing stories. I also, part of my background is my grandfather was an art teacher. I was brought up in the arts, so like visual stuff to me is I enjoy it. It's really fun. I like that kind of storytelling. Twitter is still important. In my opinion, I feel like it's not quite as impactful as Instagram. You'll see like the difference between all followers on Twitter and Instagram. We're like, I don't know, maybe 2,000 on Twitter, which is not great, but we're, in the past 6 months, we've gone up. We're pushing 5,000 on Instagram, thanks to Domingo's rule set that he put in me. No more pictures of your dog. It's like, no, don't do that. So. But we're seeing exponential growth there, and that's really what I enjoy doing the most. I think Twitter's important, and you should cultivate it. But I think that for me, at least, I think that Instagram is kind of just this really beautiful way of storytelling, and I get a lot more interaction through it.
And quickly, the three of you, Twitter, importance of Twitter?
I forward Instagram pictures to Twitter.
Okay. Anna?
Yeah, I really only retweet and reply to things. We don't see much from that.
Same thing.
Yeah, we try to use it as much as we can, but we'll almost always include an image. It's just because with our particular industry, consumer products, that sort of thing, food products in particular, just the visuals is very important.
Okay, time for one last question.
I'm interested, it seems like there was a theme of having low to no marketing budget, but I'm sure that that's not the ideal, and I wonder what you can share about successes that you had, or kind of what you're planning to do to get more buy-in on your marketing spend.
I think I'll speak to this. So yeah, I'm sales and marketing like Matthew for Starvation Alley. And it's been how to track, what they say, return on investment. We'll do events, we'll booth a lot of events and do a lot of collaborations that don't look like they pencil out in that 24-hour time span. But then what the story you can create is these are important in the future if you track all those, like, well, I met this person and I had this conversation, and they remembered me from here, and that photo was taken at this event. And so moving forward, there's more when I say, hey, Wild About Games coming up, I really want to pay for this booth. It looks like it's coming out, like, are we going to make our sales in that 24-hour period? I don't know. So it's kind of wiggles into this is a marketing budget. But then when you can come back and say, look at all these touch points, look at all these people I met, look at the network that was created from this event, that's where you can get more stake in the game for the next time. You're like, so if we're going to create a marketing budget, and as we're getting into retail at New Seasons, we're at all the New Seasons now, you're learning promo budgets and how that factors in to the percent of your revenues, what you want to redirect into marketing and promo, and that's a whole nother world. But
you're building your community equity.
Yeah.
Like, what value do you put on that?
That's priceless.
I guess also to iterate on that, I don't know that any of us have a actually $0 marketing budget. It's just that we're all choosing to spend our very, very limited marketing budget in unconventional ways. And I guess I personally don't find that going to the Fancy Food Show, which is a traditional marketing expense, is going to be worth it for our brand at our size right now. And that doesn't mean that going to the Fancy Food Show is off the table forever, but it means that we've had enough success and enough accounts that we can manage without spending that money. So we'd rather spend it on doing a really great new packaging design with a co-branded product. Because that's expensive and it's marketing, but it's not traditional. it's a different kind of expense.
For us, for both of our companies, we'll be spending a lot more as we continue to grow in marketing, but it's not going to be as far as the consumer side. We want to keep that, maybe for lack of a better term, that authenticity and that sort of to match what we've done to this point. So we don't want to be seen as like, I mean, not to put it down, but we'll never be in a Triscuit commercial, if that makes sense, anybody? That just doesn't match. That just doesn't match our particular brand. And so the money that we'll spend will sort of tie into this weird idea that the salt company, like, because we're sort of teetering in this weird world of like we can kind of be a lifestyle brand too, just because of our connections with all of these tastemakers around the country, and we have access to all those folks. So we spend a lot of money on events and then capturing content at those events. But a huge part of our marketing, because we're growing, and we're still providing this premium product that is now available to these larger brands that have a concern for quality, both for honey and salt. We'll spend a lot of the marketing dollars that will come to us by going to Expo West, which is the largest natural foods, Expo West and Expo East, and actually working with really large food processors, because that will be not the main source of our growth, but that will be a huge little silo of our growth, in addition to the grocery, national grocery accounts that we'll spread to. So a lot of it will be like trade marketing, growth in that area that you'll see. So
More so than like the engagement on social media that you mentioned that you want to ramp up as well.
yeah, and that, I mean, for us, like, we can still manage a lot of that. We have a tiny little PR firm now too, for the first time, that I just hired, like 2 weeks ago. It's the first time, which is sort of crazy to me. But yeah, no, we probably won't spend that much money in that. It's sort of, we're in that weird spot where it's like, it's worked so far, so let's keep doing it, but that's dangerous. And we realize that, I realize that at least, so yeah.
Well, we'll have to bring them back next year and see how things go. I want to thank all four of you. What an inspired story that you all bring to us, and lots of great tips and things to think about. So thank you very much.